Hey everybody, it is Sophie from Hotspawn, and we are back with another episode of Hot Takes where I have got Dan out of bed at 9 a.m. on a Monday morning. How you doing, Dan?
Yeah, this one's not too bad actually. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good on
Nice.
this 9 a.m. on a Monday morning. I've lost track of the days, bloody hell. But yeah,
I've
yeah,
got you on a sleep schedule
the
now.
major starts tomorrow, so you've got to be in some sort of routine.
Yes, even though for the UK, I think the last game of the day is going to start at midnight. So,
Yeah, they're gonna be interesting. Yeah, we've got two Swiss stages to look forward to tomorrow in stage one. Um,
absolutely.
First stage of matches. I don't even know what time it starts. It'll probably be
I think it's
our
4
our time,
p.m.
4 p.m. Yeah,
Yeah,
but best
yeah.
of ones, so it's not so bad. But
Yes, I was wondering about this best of one format
mhm.
because they touch on this occasionally in Dota and it just never feels competitive. Like I don't like it that much. I wondered what you thought.
Oh man, I really hate it because
Do you?
the thing is, and I've done an article on this recently, is that the best of one format, it sort of promotes randomness.
Mhm.
You don't necessarily get the best team winning because you get a lucky map pick
Mhm.
and you can win 13 rounds against a team that across a best of three series would beat you. Like it's so random.
Yeah.
Like I really don't like it at all. And the main thing for me is that the other tournament organizers, even Blast themselves, have realized that best of one's no good, and they've just totally abolished them from their sort of like ecosystems.
Yep.
But with the major being hosted by Valve, you're sort of beholden to sort of whatever they want. And Valve, whatever reason, still love the best of one. It's definitely not like a scheduling thing. Like we've seen Swiss systems use a best of three,
Oh,
even with a
absolutely.
lot of
Long
teams.
ones as well. Yeah.
Like, yeah, it obviously results in a longer day, or maybe you have to extend the major by a couple of days. But if you get sort of more consistent results, I think that's worth it. Like, it's so outdated. I do see it changing in the future, but for now, it just feels like the major's supposed to be like the premium prestige CS event.
Yeah.
You can't really say that it is, at least in terms of format. Obviously, it's still the one that everyone wants to win. It's still the biggest tournament of the year. It's still the one that casual fans will tune into.
Absolutely.
But it very much represents like the worst of the format, which is a shame.
Yeah, because I guess everybody, regardless of who they are, they want to win a CS major, and to have it
Yeah,
come down to luck, especially for these stage one teams,
yeah.
like that, it's rough.
Well, there's still sort of like a similar issue with like the grand final. Like every tournament organizer uses best of five finals now for every event, just across the board because it's more consistent.
Yep.
At least in tier one, there are tier two and below tournaments that do use that best of three final.
Yep, yep.
But the major still best of three final to win a major is absolutely crazy to me.
Yeah.
like obviously it's the way it's been done since the beginning of time, so it's not that crazy. But like it just feels behind at this point.
Yeah, absolutely, because I not only that, but I can't even think of any other esport that does that.
Yeah,
Like, let
yeah,
alone
no.
just CS. It's
Well, there's seven maps in the pool, and it actually changes the sort of win condition for winning a final because if it's a best of five final, the team with the best map pool has the best chance of winning. It is as simple as that.
yeah.
If you've got the deeper
Oh,
map
that's
pool,
interesting.
you'll probably win. Like, but in a best of three, you don't necessarily need that. You just need to get the right veto. Like, it's a
Yeah, yeah.
completely different win condition to actually win the major,
It
which
actually is, and I remember very distinctly, so I went to the Copenhagen major last year, and I remember the true horror of sitting in the press room just being like, "Oh, it's only map 3. I'm pretty chill at this point. I'm having a good time." And then the realization that I needed to go and, like, get the pictures, get the questions prepped for winners, like,
because it was over.
oh my god, the horror! To this day, it haunts me, like
Oh, were
The
other
way
people there, like,
Yeah,
leaving, and you're like, "Where's everyone going?"
everybody else is out of the press room, like, what are they doing? And then I, like, ran like I've never run before to get to
Oh,
the stage.
mate. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, so for any
Oh,
press working this Austin Major, don't
it's a
get
best
caught out, man. It's
it's a best of
awful.
3. It's a best of 3. Yeah.
Honestly, what a day.
But
But, we've got
yeah.
a long way till that final comes.
Yeah, we obviously come through 3 stages and playoffs.
Mhm.
Stage 1 begins tomorrow, so you've got 16 teams entering. As well, you said before, you were lucky to have heard of half of them. I think I'm a little bit more familiar with them.
Yep, yep, there's a couple that I was like, I don't think I knew that Boom had a Counter-Strike team.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
no, like, you look at the roster, there's some notable names there. They've got
Oh,
Navi's
so there
Boomich,
is.
Axile,
Yeah.
a kid called Magnajez who plays he was like a face it demon a couple of years ago, and everyone thought he was hot shit.
Oh, really?
Um, he's a good player, obviously plays on a decent team, but yeah, they're okay. Were there any others that you were sort of a little bit unsure on?
I think I think that this is their major debut, but the Chinggis Warriors
Yeah. No, they
don't.
they are the only team I can safely say I had not heard of. But they are
Ah,
growing,
okay.
which is always interesting because it's a scene. Well, it's obviously quite a small country to have such a big CS scene, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's,
But
it's not the
Mongolia,
kinda country that I would expect. Like, when the
no,
Mongols came out of nowhere, we were like, "Oh, cool."
like they're very much a country, good for Counter Strike. You get
Yeah.
countries that very much outperform in that regard. So it'll be interesting to see how they do. They've got a tough matchup first. They've got Heroic,
Ooh,
and Heroic,
yes.
they have to like absolutely piss stage 1. They need to absolutely walk it, like
Yep, yep,
based on the
absolutely.
teams involved. But no, there's some interesting teams. I'm happy to sort of see OG make it back to a major. They've not been for
Yep,
2 years.
yep, yep,
Obviously,
absolutely.
I know a favorite of yours in other esports. In
Well,
CS, less interesting.
yep, definitely.
In CS, they've basically recently invested in like a load of young Danish talent,
Mhm.
and it's sort of cool to see that come to fruition and actually have some payoff. NRG,
Yep.
they used to be like semi-finalists in a couple of majors a few years ago. They had quite a good Counter Strike team,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they very much they exited the scene and have came back. I want to say a year and a half ago, and have had a few cracks of the whip of trying to make it to a major. Finally worked out for them.
And it's good that
Um,
it's on a US major. I
yeah,
imagine they'll have the crowd behind them if they make it that far.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Just a couple more teams like worth mentioning. Bait, so
Mm,
they went down to 0-2 in the MRQs,
mhm.
and then not only did they fight back to get through 3-2, they were in that unfortunate position where they had to play like an extra 2 games on top of going 3-2 in the Swiss stage. So they had to beat, I can't remember who they had to beat, but they had to beat someone and then Astralis on top of their 3 wins in the actual Swiss stage.
Oh
So they
my
had to win
god.
like 5 best of 3s in a row after losing 2 best of 1s. Like and they're just like a young Ukrainian team.
And now they have to head straight into a stage 1, which is best of ones.
Yeah, so we'll see how they do, but I'm interested to see how they do. I think they'll go through. Don't think they'll go 3-0, but
Okay.
I'm excited to see them.
Mhm,
The wild card versus Metasport game. So that is going to be an interesting one, but for one reason in particular.
mhm.
So on Metasport, you have Adam B, and on wildcard you have Susp. Now the thing of these two Swedish players, right? They're twin brothers,
Yeah,
and they are facing off for the first time in their career.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
I
so
kinda love that.
So they used to be teammates.
What happened? I heard they used to be teammates.
So I think it was on Metasport, and Metasport just benched. This was when they benched a few players.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they just they went their separate ways, and then Wildcard for some reason decided to pick up a couple of Europeans at the time,
Yeah, because
and
they're
that
an
they
NA
kept it
org,
like that.
right?
Wildcard,
Yeah.
there's a bit of controversy, but they very much stay in NA. Yeah,
Okay. Yep, yep.
yeah, it's a whole thing. Are they NA? Are they not? There are bigger things to tackle, but it's a topic.
Yeah, it
Legacy
certainly
as well.
is.
Legacy, worth
Mhm.
mentioning. Obviously, not actually supposed to be there, based on qualification.
Yes.
Obviously replaced when Bestia couldn't get the major, and have now spent the best part of 2 weeks just screaming into the void about Injustia. Injusticia?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That's
It's been a whole thing.
it certainly has. Yeah, so the last that I heard, they just missed the visa deadline. Like,
Yeah,
simple as that, right?
yeah. So basically, even before the MRQs, Blast has been apparently helping teams to apply for this sort of thing.
Mhm,
And it's like, look, you should apply for this thing even if like you don't get there. Like you
mhm.
need to be applying now if you're going to make it and then get the visa in time. But they said, like Bestia said, these two players that they were looking for have been declined visas before. Like
Oh, okay.
that's going to make it so much harder, and they obviously don't tell you why. Like
Yeah, yeah,
Richard Lewis has a really good video on this whole situation. Like they don't tell you why they decline you, so you're probably not being all that honest about why you're being declined. And I'm sure you know,
yeah.
but yeah, I just don't understand what they were sort of hoping to achieve. Really, I had sympathy for them at first, but once it became sort of clear, like the real circumstances behind it,
Absolutely.
like, and I don't know why you're trying to get like the Counter Strike community behind you. Like, I'm not sure Apex is going to change the decision of the United States immigration system,
I mean, he's powerful, but not that
but not that
powerful.
powerful. Like, so yeah, we've obviously got Legacy there instead. Uh, I'm sure that will help Brazilian and Argentinian relations.
Yes, just what they
um,
need at this
that's
key
just what
moment.
they need is that. But we'll see what Legacy can do. I do not expect them to perform too well. Like
Mhm.
if you're not there, you're not there for a reason,
Yeah,
or you
that's
know,
true.
on merit, I should say.
Well, that's exactly it. Yeah. I guess, mm, so I guess who do you think would stand a chance in stage 2, or does anyone stand a chance to get through to stage 3?
Oh, stage two, we should absolutely be looking at Falcons and FaZe straight away.
Yeah. Yep.
Like they're
Because I
just the
guess
two big
this is
names that stand out.
Falcon's major debut, isn't it?
Yes, first ever major, and I'd go as far as to say they're like second favorite, which
Yeah.
like is very funny, but also shows the power of like a Scrooge McDuck sized pile of cash. Like they've essentially bought the way they're gonna get through stage two. Like if they don't get through stage two, like what are we doing?
Yeah, exactly.
They're by far and away the second best Counter Strike team in the world. So
Mhm.
with Falcons, the storyline, as much as it is sort of around Falcons, the storyline whenever Nico plays a major now is Nico going to win his major? Like
Absolutely.
that is always what people are looking out for. Like as much as I have my opinions on like the Falcons project, I still like that player, and I would
See, this
still
is
like to,
exactly what I was gonna say. I would love to watch Nico lift that trophy.
yeah,
I just wish he wasn't wearing the Falcons jersey.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. But
it sucks, but, he
yeah,
has a decent chance here, and if it wasn't
yeah,
for
he absolutely
Vitality,
does.
I'd be like, "This is pretty locked in."
Yeah, we'll
But
definitely get to Vitality. Um,
yes.
but Falcons for me right now. second best team in the world. Stage two shouldn't even be a conversation, really.
No, not
Whether they get
really.
through there, they should be semi-finals at a minimum.
Yep,
Um,
absolutely.
you've got FaZe, so they are playing again with Simple.
Mhm.
What is interesting this time is they've just played IEM Dallas. They played with Skulls in place of Rain.
Yep.
He was becoming a dad for the second time. I think I mentioned this on
Yeah.
the last podcast, so that's nice for him. But he's back now, so we'll sort of get to see what this phase is actually capable of.
Mhm.
I think I said like I didn't expect much from Simple. He was up and down, and
Yeah, yeah.
it was better than I expected.
I think if Simple wasn't Simple, like if he didn't have the reputation, the history, the legacy attached to his name, I think people would be like, "Yeah, this guy's pretty good. You know, he's
Yeah,
maybe not as I woo, but he's up there." But
yeah.
because he has that reputation, everybody knows him. I think it's sort of working against him at this point.
People just want to see. They want to see Simple.
Yeah,
Like they
exactly.
want to see what they saw in 2021, 2020.
Mhm.
That's the guy. You're not going to get that.
No.
Um, but what you do get is you do get an improvement over Brokey, which I think I said again, like that is all he needs to be. He needs to be better than Brokey, and then it's
Yeah.
an improvement.
Mhm.
Which again, not difficult to be better than Brokey this year, unfortunately for him, which is why he's been benched.
I mean, yeah, it's understandable. I think so I saw a quote from Carrigan
Mhm.
who and he said that they're going to try obviously they're going to try and win, but they're going to try and get to playoffs and then whatever happens there they're just going to have fun. And I honestly think that coming into a major with that attitude, as much of the pressure as you can possibly take off your shoulders is probably a better recipe for a win if you're coming in with that we're just here to have fun kind of vibe.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I think what people underestimate is the impact of a crowd as well. Like,
Mm,
if you like, you're deluded if you don't think when FaZe walk onto the stage, say they get to the playoffs and they're in front of a huge crowd in Austin, that they won't be cheering everything Simple does. Like, because of course
absolutely.
they will. Like,
Yeah.
and we've seen in so many events, like the crowd can be like a full difference maker. So
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, I'd like to see them get to playoffs. I'd like to see Simple play on a big stage again. And
Absolutely.
but like I wouldn't put any significant amount of money on them to actually win the thing, because you will probably lose it realistically.
I mean, yeah. I mean, no
Yeah,
one's going to work a crowd like Carrigan,
yeah,
and it would be really fun. And I think in a way, I would be kind of jealous of the people who are in Austin getting to watch Simple play on that stage.
absolutely, yeah.
But I,
But
I
yeah,
just don't think they're going to take it.
yeah, a few fun um stage two teams to look at. Furia,
Mhm.
I've looked far
Yep,
better than
yep.
expected. Um, Fallen's looked good on a rifle. He's looked good in some
Hmm.
tough spots. So hopefully he sort of gave himself sort of a new life there as an in-game leader.
Yeah.
Yakindar, I mean, he's not his vet pro prime, but again, just a little bit more exciting to watch than he has been. We rather like before, but by the time of his end days on Liquid, he was like a human flashbang, and
Yeah,
just
that's.
he would just
You're not wrong, are you?
run in, die, and hope it distracts someone long enough for your teammate to trade you.
Yep.
And that
Which
was like
is
his entire role, which is
in a pub could maybe work on a main stage. Not the
yeah.
strategy.
It's what I send my friends in to do. I'm like, you go in, and I promise I will trade the kill. Does not matter if you die. Like, yeah, that is exactly what it's like.
Yep,
Like, I'm just gonna
exactly.
bait you. Yeah. M80 as well. So it's
Hmm.
their first ever major. I don't
Nice.
know. I know that they were sort of bigger in other esports first, but
Yep.
I mean, I think they described getting here as their biggest ever achievement as an organization. Like, I really like M80.
Oh,
Um,
fantastic.
so their
Yeah.
lineup, they used to have Molbs from G2. That's where they got him from.
Mhm.
Uh, but they're again majority NA lineup. You've got two Germans, three North Americans,
Yep.
which is an interesting lineup. I like Lake, young lad. He's only 20,
Yep.
very talented. Again, don't think he's hit his potential, but he's one of the guys that keeps like you know when the booths are opposite each other. He's one of the
Yeah.
loud guys who gets loud. He like fucking screaming. Love that. Absolutely
Yeah,
love that.
absolutely, me too.
Uh,
Just a bit of personality. I love it,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Just come in, just make it a bit more interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think to be honest, I've got a feeling that every stage of Austin will be played on stage. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. No, maybe I'm thinking of
Really?
I'm thinking of Budapest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, different major. Um, so it'll be interesting to see if we get some good trash talk moments.
Mhm.
That could be fun.
Absolutely. He's taken a leaf out of Apex's playbook.
Yeah,
Or
but yeah,
that
that
one that's, did you see that video of Simple where he's like, "We lost against bots"?
yeah, but
Yeah.
Heroic played into it. To be fair, Heroic were
Yeah. I
they
kinda liked
uploaded
that.
they uploaded a YouTube video where it was like voice comms from the game, and it was like how we won against bot Simple. Like
I mean,
but
it's all in good fun, isn't it? Like, no one's taking it
Simple
that seriously.
no, Simple can give it, but he can take it. Yeah,
Exactly. And that's the
yeah.
point, really.
But yeah, as far as stage 2 goes, that's all I'm really looking at. 3D Max versus Pro MLBR Paint. To be fair, these are still teams that I would expect to make it because it is 8 teams that go through to stage 3. But
Mhm.
obviously we don't know who the other 8 teams are gonna be at stage 2
Yep, exactly.
because they come through from stage 1.
Mhm. If you had to put your money on it,
Who goes through to stage
2.
who goes through to stage 2?
Yeah,
Well, we can go through the pick'ems now,
we
if you'd like.
certainly
We'll
can. I
we'll
would love to see
barrel
them.
we'll barrel back round to the bigger teams because there are still conversations to be had.
Mhm.
But I have put together my own set of pick'ems for the Blast TV Austin Major Stage 1. They can be found on hotspawn.com. They should be on screen right now. So, from stage 1, my 3-0 picks, I've gone with Heroic and Complexity.
Yep.
So, Heroic should be pretty self-explanatory.
I think
If
that's
that
a gimme.
one if that one doesn't 3-0, like, I'm not taking any blame. Like that is totally on them. So, Complexity. So,
Yep.
the article is out there now, and I can't change this, but I think I said this again last week. I'm a little bit unsure on this pick because Halzek isn't going to be there. And
Mm.
they've replaced him with Junior, who very much hasn't played tier one in a couple of years now. He's sort of been floating around the tier two of North America,
Yep.
so that could be a difference maker. In a best of one
Mhm.
where MR12 just sort of gets too far away. And yeah, I'm not sure on that one. I still think complexity will go through,
Yeah,
but
I mean,
regardless, I've committed. So
that's it. They've got a bit. I don't wanna call OG a warm-up team, but they are facing OG first, and that's
well, yeah.
it's not necessarily a gimme, but it could be worse.
Well, OG are a good segue to my 3-1 and 3-2 picks. So on the CS2 pick'ems, you don't actually have to guess who's going 3-1 and who's going 3-2. You just have to guess as a blanket thing who goes
Yep, yep.
either of those two. So I've gone with Bait. I really like the players on that team. I think just if they come and are fearless,
Mhm.
they'll absolutely get through.
Okay,
That's the thing with young teams. Like you never know how they're going to handle the pressure. But
definitely.
if they come and they're fearless, they've absolutely got the firepower. They've absolutely got the players to do it. Pep Boom, the names alone should take that one over the line. Axile. Axile alone is like a player
Yeah,
too good to be in stage one of a major.
he'll just 1v9 everybody and take them through. Carry
Uh,
4 men on his back.
yeah. So yeah, Wildcard, they had a bit of an overperformance at the Perfect World Shanghai major. They've
Mm,
appeared at a few events since, and it's not been like the prettiest,
mhm.
but like they're still a good team.
Yeah,
So I absolutely see them getting through, even if there's a hiccup along the way.
mhm.
Imperial, so they actually face Bait to kick it off, but they're very much in the same boat as like their young team that
Yep,
just need to that can shoot hard, but just need to have the balls to perform. I've
exactly.
gone with
Yeah.
them, and I think they will. Just not necessarily because I believe in their total quality, but the lack of quality elsewhere should be enough for what they have to make it through.
If I
OG.
was interviewing you, that would be my title quote.
OG, I think they've got the talent. I really like
Yep.
Buzz. I
Mhm.
liked him when he was on Astralis. Thought he shouldn't have been kicked.
Yep.
In hindsight, he sort of languished a bit. Again, hasn't continued to fulfill his potential, but he's had a better time on OG. Nika does. I think he's far too good for a team like OG.
Mm.
He's one of those players that like farms tier two, but every time he makes the jump up to tier one, it's like, ooh, ooh,
Right,
doesn't it
yeah.
actually? But then like within like a day, he'll drop back down to tier two and he'll like fucking farm them again. Like he's just in that weird bracket.
Yeah.
And again, yeah, for these teams, he should have absolutely too much to offer. And my final team in that 3-1-3-2 bracket is Metasport.
Mhm.
All Swedish lineup. It's been a while, I think, since we had an all Swedish lineup at a major. It's
I
a
couldn't even
scene
tell you
that
the
is
last time.
it's a scene that has been struggling. They have been on the struggle bus for a little while. So it's cool
Yep.
to see that they've managed to make it through. Again, I like some of the players there, I like Hampus specifically. I think he's a really good in-game leader, underrated
Mhm.
in-game leader. And then yeah, it's just down to the 0-3. So I've gone with Fluxo and Chinggis Warriors. So maybe Chinggis Warriors will surprise, like best of one format, like anything can happen. I think that's why people are a bit funny in these pick'ems
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because just crazy things happen in the best of one. Like we're in MR12,
And crazy
games
things
can
happen
just
at a
go
major.
illegal. Crazy things happen with a major, yeah. So Fluxo and Chinggis Warriors, not expecting much. I have to just
Mhm.
go with my gut on those ones, and they're who I see bombing out, especially when you've got teams like for me, I don't think an Amiga or an RG will make it through, but they're two very decent teams. Like
Yeah,
so, yeah, we'll see about that. They're my pickings.
absolutely.
So yeah, we
I
can
think
we
they
can
seem very legit.
we'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
I have so much faith in you. It's
Like
gonna
I
go to
say, I've done
diamond.
okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Well, yeah, but we can move on to sort of the heavy hitters of the tournament coming into
Yes,
stage three.
absolutely.
We've obviously tackled Falcons and FaZe,
Mhm.
but G2 are there. Um, G2 are there. So
They are
Navi, like, yeah,
G2 will in fact be
no,
present.
they're they're a dead roster at this point. Like it makes it so hard to play. Like obviously the
Yeah,
reports are out that they're bringing in a new coach and an AWPer. How do you do your job knowing you're on the way out? Really, like you
yeah,
don't really
yeah,
have a chance of winning the thing. You're there in stage three on your VRS ranking entirely.
exactly. Yeah, that and that alone. Yeah.
So yeah, Navi, very, very much the last dance of this team. I think that's pretty obvious to all involved, including the players.
Yeah, I think so. Which is a shame
Um,
because I like this roster.
it just hasn't worked, does it?
No, no.
Um, but realistically, obviously you've got to keep a core of three to keep your VRS points. So you're not
Mhm.
going to get rid of more than two. So it'll be
Yep.
interesting to see because realistically, with the
Where's the
exception of
weak point? Yeah.
Bit, who's a franchise player, Ukrainian player, has been there for years. So you're not getting rid of him.
Yeah.
But the rest of them, you could go with like you could get rid of any of them and sort of be just make up your reasons. I don't think they'll get rid of Alexi B because I
I would
think
be surprised if they did. Yeah.
yeah, because I think a strong in-game leader is a big thing.
Absolutely. Yeah,
So
it can make or break a roster.
yeah, so yeah, I think they've got to win the thing if they're gonna, and they've not won anything this year.
Nope, not at all. And I mean, yes, we've talked about all of these top teams, but it just feels like Navi aren't even getting close.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, my hopes aren't high for Navi. Maybe
Mm-mm.
maybe we'll get a miracle. And that is the type of miracle run that can happen. Like when we're talking about phase, you're talking about like something unprecedented would have to happen. This is a
Yeah.
team that absolutely, if all of them get their shit together and just start shooting back, like yeah, we could see something happen.
I mean, they've won a major before, the potential is
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
It's just
It must be
not
hard.
hitting.
It must be hard not to be able to tap into that same thing though.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely it is. Yeah. And I
um,
think when I've talked to Alexi B in the past, he has talked about how he thinks that if you just go on that loss streak and then you just keep getting loss after loss after loss, keeping that mentality is one of the hardest parts. And I'm no competitive player, but I have to agree, right?
yeah,
It'd be so hard not to be demotivated and demoralized when you know the heights that you can reach and you're just not getting there.
yeah. It's a shame, but
Hmm.
Navi have always been a good team at actually building rosters as well. Blade's always done a really interesting job, so there's sort of an excitement there as well.
Yeah.
To see what sort of thing they do cook up if it doesn't go well for them in Austin.
I've always
Like,
got the vibe that they're quite a good org in like the way they treat their players. They
yeah,
seem like they're
definitely,
very legit in that respect.
it's nice.
Yeah, it's refreshing.
Yeah. So then you've got Aurora and the Mongols.
Mhm.
To be honest, I would just like to bunch them together in terms of
Yeah.
conversation because they are eerily similar.
Yep, yep,
Like
I do
in that
see it.
the only time they win a playoff game is when they play each other. Like
Oh my
someone
god, I
has
hadn't
to
even
win.
noticed that, but yeah.
Someone has to win, and then whoever wins gets knocked out next against the better team. Like that's just how it goes. That's sort of their place in the ecosystem at the minute.
Yep.
I mean, it would be a hell of a place to sort of buck that trend,
Mhm.
but
If you're ever gonna
yeah,
do it on a major stage.
yeah. But they're sort of like they're the same in one regard, but they're also not in that the Mongols are such a young team, whereas
Yep.
Aurora have experienced players. They've got Woxer who played on Mars for years. They've got
Mhm.
Madja who's played. Well, he's 34, so he's played for a very long time. We've got Zantares who's been at the top of the game for a while.
Mhm.
So in terms of experience, they're at two ends of the spectrum. So Aurora, I would say, are not as likely to sort of book the trend than the Mongols because with a young team, there's always that chance that it just sort of like clicks for them and like
Yep.
it just happens.
And lest we forget, they've got what, less than a year of tier 1 experience? I think
Um,
Mazzinio's even younger than Donk, like
some of them have, yes. Some of them have been around for
Yeah.
a little bit longer because they played under IHC as well.
Oh, yeah.
But the average age I'm looking here is 20.7
Oh my god.
on average. Like the oldest, so I think the oldest player, let's have a look, is Blitz, who is 23. So ancient in comparison to Mazzinio, who's 17.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Yeah.
yeah. So you can't, you can't really be too harsh on a team like that.
No, certainly. I think they have great potential, and I think in a few years' time, they could really go far, and it's
Yeah,
impressive to see them have the run that they've had already this year.
yeah. I'm excited to. I'm excited to see Spirit moving on from
Yeah.
those two
Mhm.
because obviously coming into the major, they are the defending champions, which
Yeah, absolutely.
doesn't really feel like it on the basis that they've won Blast Bounty and they obviously won Astana, but
Vitality
they
went there.
like because Vitality weren't there. Like
Yeah.
they won Astana, so they really only won Blast Bounty of like things that were actually competitive.
Yep, yep.
Not to downplay the achievement, but
No, certainly not. Like, they're a really entertaining team to watch, and they
yeah,
are obviously very talented, but we're just living in an era right now. There's only so
yeah,
much we can do.
yeah. But with Spirit, obviously it's very much a one man show.
Yeah.
Like
Which
the
is the problem and the criticism that they've had pretty much since that first Cato that they won.
yeah, yeah,
So it hasn't
like
changed, and I don't know that it
yeah.
will.
They just need to come in with some new ideas, really.
Hmm.
And yeah, I don't see it, but it's more likely than say Navi finally just putting it together or the Mongols. Like there is every world in which Donk can just have a crazy life tournament and just
Yep.
obliterate everyone.
And it does seem that a large part of their strategy recently has just been teach Donk to stop tilting, as opposed to
Yeah,
teach the rest of the team to be as good as Donk, you know?
yeah. Well, like, obviously he won that trophy in Astana,
Yep,
and like he was the only time maybe it's ever happened. Player has been like more after
yep,
than
yep.
before. He
Mhm.
was so pissed off in that post-match interview, and apparently it was because like his teammates fucking stank up the gaff in the final, and like
Oh,
there was a world in which Astralis won that final.
yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, it
It
wasn't a
wasn't
stomp.
uncompetitive. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So you can see why he'd be like a little bit like Jesus Christ. Like
Like, sick of carrying 4 men on his back. Yeah, I can
yeah,
see
yeah. I mean
that.
ultimately the only reason they won Shanghai it wasn't Donk because Donk
Yep.
was incredible, but the fact
Mhm.
that Magix has like a once in a not even a lifetime like this was like him and his 5 generations of children's life game. Like he was fucking bananas
Yep,
and
yep,
that was enough to sort of win the major by 1 round. Like,
yep.
yeah, so I don't see it with Spirit. I think I mean, I would like to see them sort of make changes, but the fact that they're selling Kisuke to Falcons just makes that a little bit more difficult for them.
Yeah, it's such a surprising move to me. I don't know if like what the financial implications of it or anything like that, but for a roster like Spirit, it seems an odd choice to make when you know that you've got one great guy and 4 guys that you could probably replace.
Yeah, well, I don't think we'll get the answer until after the major
No,
because
definitely
the
not.
rumor was they were looking to replace Magix before the last major, and then you get imagine just benching the guy who wins you the major like that would
Yep.
not even silly because it probably still would might have been the right choice, but like it would on the optics of it would be really bad.
Yeah, yeah. It wouldn't be a
Um,
good look.
no. There's Mars. Let's move
Yeah.
on. Last two, we're
Mhm.
on to the last two teams. Mars
Yep.
never won a major before, but they've won an event this year. I've consistently sort of got to that
Yes.
finish line, but
Was
we're
it
still
Bucharest they won?
yes.
Yeah.
Was the first event together,
Oh,
or was
wait,
it?
no,
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 it was
it
Fusion of
was
Poker.
yes, you're right, that's it.
Yeah, yeah. Who won
I was
Bucharest?
thinking of Dota.
I can't even remember who won Bucharest. It was
Um,
Falcons because they
right,
won a
yep,
trophy
yep.
finally. Yeah. So Maus, I feel like we're just having the same conversation about this team, really. In that, yeah, they're best. They're not as good as Falcons or Vitality,
No,
but they're better than everyone else, like very consistently.
that's it, and they
Uh,
can even afford for players to not have as high a rating as they used to and still be in that comfortable 3rd place
Yep,
pretty
yep.
consistently.
But they're a team with a high enough peak where just if it happened on the right day,
Mm,
like yeah, they could win this major. Like they're real
yep,
contenders.
mhm.
I they're not my favorites. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
I would love to see Torji have an amazing major because I think his stock's just going to go through the roof and it's going to
absolutely.
continue to rise and rise. Like this Miles project, though, it has always been from like the mouse sports days. It's always been the same thing of like we're just going to pick up great young players who we think have big potential,
Yep, exactly.
and then like further down the line sell them to FaZe Clan, which has just been which is funny now because players don't want to leave Miles for FaZe Clan right now.
Well, probably not. It's interesting how one has sort of overtaken the other now.
Yeah, yeah, that's the current state of play. But yeah, let's see how they get on there. They should comfortably be qualifying from stage three. Like if
Yep.
8 teams go through from the playoffs, we're not even discussing that as a possibility because they're just no one's too good to fail, but they're almost too good to fail.
Yeah. It's not far off, is it?
Like, yeah. And then obviously comes to the big boys, six time champions in a row.
Yep,
Yes,
yep,
six
6
time.
times.
And it's bad when you're losing count. Like when you're losing count of how many trophies you've won in a row is
Yep,
insane. Yeah, Dallas winners. I think we discussed everything Dallas last time.
we did, yeah.
So 30-game win streak now for Vitality. They'll enter again. They'll enter later in the competition. So I expect them to. I mean, they're my three O's. Put it that way.
Certainly,
When the
yep.
pickums come up,
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, Vitality impossible to bet against them. Like,
That's it. I just don't, guys, as we've said before, I can't think of any roster where I think there's a very good chance that they could actually beat Vitality at this point.
yeah. I
Like,
mean,
there's nobody who's just
it feels a little bit like 2023. Like we came into
mm,
the last Paris major and we were all like, "Yep, Vitality are winning this one." That was just like the state of the scene at that time.
mhm.
In the same way that we came into Copenhagen last year when Navi won it. Everyone just expected Spirit to piss it.
Yep,
Like
definitely.
there are just feelings across the scene, like
Mhm.
when it's someone's time. Obviously, it doesn't always work out like that. Like I said, Copenhagen didn't happen, but when you've got a team as dominant as this, like it just feels like their time.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that would be interesting because it'd be cool to see, you know, Apex become a three-time major winner.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
he's really racking up the accolades. Like
And he deserves it. That's the difference. Like, he
yeah,
really deserves it.
I had a little look at his like trophy scroll bar the other day,
Mm.
and like the difference since even just like the last year is hilarious. How much longer he's made it.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. Um, yeah, Zyru might become a two-time major winner. Might get our
Yep, yep.
first ever British CS major winner.
We'll see.
We'll
I mean,
see.
it'll be banging.
Yeah, it would
I
be
mean,
cool.
I think Mezzi is he just seems like the most improved over the
Mhm.
last year. He's just I never wanted to call him like a weak link on Vitality. That feels like too strong, but he did feel not as strong is
Yeah.
I guess the best way, but he seems to have just really ramped up the last 12 months.
Well, I spoke to Apex. I want to say it was at ESL Pro League Season 20. It was either 20 or 19.
Yep.
And it was when the roster wasn't doing too hot. It was sort
Mhm.
of close to the start of 2024 where it was just, it looked like it just wasn't going to work out for them. But they obviously stuck it through for the year. And Apex said, like, about Messi, like, he needs to be more selfish. He's
Oh,
so
really?
selfless, apparently.
Oh,
Just in
that's
terms of on the server, like, he needs
yeah,
to
yeah.
just, could, because he's got the ability to be a little bit more selfish.
So by that he means like securing his own kills and not being the trade, or
Yeah, and just, not being afraid to sort of make a play when he feels like it. Like when,
ah,
when he gets the these players have like a game sense. Like
yep,
they just they have like a literal sixth sense where it's like,
yep,
yeah, I can sense that there's a move to be made here because based on the information that I've got.
hmm
And it was around that, and having that insurance of ROPS alongside him has made that difference, I think, because you could
absolutely,
see Messi make him, especially on the CT side. Maybe Inferno's probably the biggest difference.
yep.
Messi makes a lot more moves, a lot more plays, and I think just that having a player like ROPS behind you instead of Spinks
It
has
would add
just,
to your confidence, yeah.
yeah, yeah, and I mean, what can you say about Vitality? They're gonna win this major. They're gonna become two major winners. They're gonna
Yeah,
secure. They're gonna have the craziest half season or full season, I should say, of
mhm,
Counter Strike anyone's ever had.
yeah.
Like Blast, obviously they didn't win Blast Bounty. It was the first event together. It's easy
Mhm.
to forget they lost. That was the last time they lost.
I
Like
that was so long ago.
Blast Bounty. Do you remember that? That was
No, that's
January.
the thing.
That was January. The last
Like,
time they lost was January.
that's
They lost.
insane.
Yeah, they flew out to Copenhagen for Blast Bounty. Got absolutely dumpstered. I can't even remember
Oh,
who why.
yes.
Um,
Yes,
and I
I
remember
do remember
people
that.
people were saying like, "Oh, same old Vitality."
Yep, yep.
Same in old Vitality. But no, obviously not.
Well, I think we're in for a really good major, to be honest. I
Yeah.
think even if Vitality do come out and just 3-0 whoever manages to make it that far, this is still going to be an amazing tournament. Like majors are always full of drama and expectation, and even if what we expect is going to happen, I just think it's going to be a really great tournament.
Yeah. I mean, if Vitality don't win it, it would be one of the biggest upsets. Like, it
Hmm.
would be such a dampener on their entire season.
Yeah, it would.
Like, after winning 6 trophies in a row, you just don't get the one that you would swap them for.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah, yeah. I think Apex would even probably swap his Kato trophy for this.
yeah, absolutely.
Well, we'll be keeping up with all of the action, and thank you so much everybody for joining us today. Let us know what you think in the comments. Let us know what you think of Dan's pick'ems, and we'll judge him on that and that alone.
I'm sure this time next week, we will absolutely be judging me on this. Mate, if I just get a bronze coin the entire way through, this is so embarrassing. I'm gonna have to come onto this podcast and be like, "So, bronze."
Yep. We'll get you a forfeit. It'll be fine.
Oof.
I believe. All right. Thank you so much, guys, and we will see you guys next week.